The last of the summer 2021 anime season has finally kicked off. Yes, Fena Pirate Princess has finally aired its first 2 episodes. These are my thoughts on the first 2 episodes, so let's jump into it. Fena Pirate Princess essentially opens up with a girl named Fena. She's very young, and she's being put onto a boat and sent away from this ship that is being attacked by somebody. And as she's being pushed away, her father up on the deck is essentially saying, head to Eden, and that's when it seems like he's actually killed by cannon fire. But it quickly jumps to her being a lot older. She is now apparently being sold off to a very rich man for her body. It seems like there's like this... She's on this island that has, like, I guess people that are very rich come there in order to buy women, and she's now being sold to somebody. And while she's kind of planning her escape, at some point, her old guards from her when she was a child, Oujo and Salman, show up and rescue her, and they run off together. And as they're nearly taken again, some samurai shows up, which seems to be this childhood friend of hers, Yukimaru, who quickly dispatches them and sends her off on a boat. And on this boat, Fena, along with Oujo and Salman, after a while, end up finding this seemingly this moving island, which they call the Goblin Island. And this Goblin Island, on it is this entire Japanese culture. So it seems like there's like this kind of mishmash of different cultures where you have like this, you know, early voyage type time period with the mixture of the Asian culture kind of coming into the mixture. And on this island, we end up finding this man that essentially controls all these other samurais, including Yukimaru, who essentially mentions this kind of promise, I guess you would say. It is essentially at some point, him along with many others, their forefathers basically, at some point went on a voyage. And while they were on this voyage, they end up shipwrecked, and they were confronted by the Hauptmann family. The Hauptmann family ended up finding them and giving them this island and rescuing them and saving their lives. And in return, they kind of vowed to always protect the Hauptmann family. And so now, her being seemingly the only Hauptmann family member, they're now going to basically protect her. And apparently her father left behind this one little box. It looks like a cell phone case. And they don't know what the purpose of it, but they do know that he was on a voyage and that possibly she knows the answer to it. And the only thing that she can recall from her father being told to her was to head to Eden. So kind of after meeting everybody and kind of exploring the island, she eventually pretty much decides, you know, I'm going to take on the voyage that my father started, which was the voyage that they were on when she was kind of separated from him. I guess the other interesting thing about this world so far they've kind of gotten into is, along with this aspect of this floating Japanese island that's kind of being thrown into, you know, a different culture, you also have these very interesting technologies. It seems like a lot of the technologies on this island are kind of further from what you would see in the natural world that it seems like it's trying to take a time period of. I mean, particularly the ship that they get on to go on the voyage, it looks like a submarine battleship. And this is in a time period where everybody's got, you know, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean type stuff. So it's definitely got like a leap of technologies there. The other interesting thing is that these samurais that are protecting Fena are all seemingly able to move at the speed of light. They're like supernatural abilities that they have. So I'm curious how they're going to really play that into the story as well. But yeah, my thoughts so far. First off, very beautiful series. Production IG is doing an incredible job with this series. It looks very gorgeous. I'm curious if this is going to be a thing that they will continue on with the next coming episodes, 10 more episodes for this series. Just because of how much work was put into this first 2 episodes, it does have me really questioning, can they keep up this quality? Now, granted, beyond this point, they won't have to worry about animating her hair because, as the tropes would lead you to believe, yes, she cuts her hair and it looks terrible. I'm not a fan of the super short hair that she went with at the very end. But I know that there's the symbolism behind it. You cut your hair and you leave behind your past. She's going forward to this new voyage, this new future of her. She's getting rid of her childhood or childishness, which, yeah, whatever. I do know in the trailer it shows her hair start to grow back. So I'm kind of looking for at least that neck link kind of thing. Not so much the bushy, cloud stripe looking thing going on. As for the story, it's got a great setup so far. And again, this is another case of I hope it wasn't interesting because this first 2 episodes is all this cool stuff happening and then we don't really do anything with it. It is done by the creator Kazuto Nakazawa, who of course did Be the Beginning. He also did the Moondrive Genius Party episode, so I do like some of his work. Like Be the Beginning, I did like certain aspects of it a lot, so I do know he has a bit of creativity in there that I'm sure will probably manifest in here. Definitely a different setting and different idea here than what a Be the Beginning was, obviously. I was also curious to see that Yuki Kajiura is working on the music. I didn't really notice it. I might be because I was watching it late at night and I didn't want to bother the entire house, but she does do a lot of really beautiful music, so I'm certain it'll probably be amazing. I like all the character design so far, a lot of the settings, a lot of the background. It looks like a very beautiful show. Like everything production-wise is really fantastic. The writing also is incredible. I just because it's got a feel of, if anybody have watched Rage of Bahamut, the very first season. Rage of Bahamut was an original based off of a card game. And what they did with that wasn't really in so much the story, but what they did with Rage of Bahamut as a show is they put character. Like the characters and the writing was so good. Like this was a let's have fun adventure. And it had just the great cues for comedy. The characters were fun. They had the stoic characters, but they had the overly goofy characters. And that's exactly what they're doing with here so far, because you have Yukimaru who's very stoic, and then Fena is a goofball. And I'm hoping that that little balance is similar to Rage of Bahamut, where it's just kind of this really goofy adventure as they go on and have a lot of fun. It does seem like it has a hint of violence and seriousness in there, but I think for the most part it looks like a very goofy show. They just have fun and adventure. I'm sure eventually they'll get into some serious stuff and it'll get, heavy at points. I mean, technically the concept of what she was dealing with at the very beginning was heavy. Losing her father, being sold off for basically her body. I'm kind of sad that Kendra Suda is the bad guy, and I'm sure he's probably going to come up later because obviously he bought her and now he's going to be obsessed with her and he's going to be chasing her across the world, spending thousands of gold just to find this girl that he bought at this stupid burlesque house or whatever it was. you know he's going to be around because he's got Kendra Suda's voice. It was weird because I think I heard him again as somebody else later, so I hope that wasn't a goof up. But it seems like he's voicing two characters. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, I'm happy to see Aoi Yuki. I hope they're not overusing her. But yeah, she's Karen. I love her so far. Like Aoi Yuki was perfect for her. Like you have these little moments where she's like trying to explain something to Fena, like, yeah, this technology, this auto hammering, and then all of a sudden she's like, and she's gone. It's like, yeah, that's totally Aoi Yuki. So yeah, Karen right now is already, I'm focused on as being gonna be an awesome character. Yukimaru is okay. Like I said, stoic character. I hope he doesn't get annoying. He likes to beat Fena on the head because she talks too much, which is kind of funny. I do like that. Otto and Salmon were goofy. I love the moment that they introduced Salmon. He's like, Salmon. And this Japanese guy's like, Salmon? It's like, no, Salmon. And then Fena speaks up, Salmon. So yeah, they do have a really goofy cast. A nice spread of different personalities. I think the cast themselves is going to be a really good driving force. I don't know how the action is going to be. That's what I'm really curious about, is how the action is going to be, because one, they have a battleship, and like I said, seemingly not very much a high technology world. All these characters can move at the speed of light already. They've already established they can basically teleport. They're so fast. So it's like, okay, so who's going to actually go up against these people? I mean, I'm fine with them being really super cool and be able to kick total butt, but at the same time, I don't know if they're going to have any kind of issue with anything because they've already established that they're super overpowered. Yeah. Great characters, great comedy already. Amazing visuals, great setting, cool backdrops. A lot of the themes and the places they're exploring already look great. I mean, the Goblin Island was fantastic. I'm sure they're going to find other really cool places. But it's establishing itself as being a really cool show so far. And I just hope that beyond episode 2, it keeps to that. And it's not that everything cool was shown in the first 2 episodes. But we'll see. That's my impressions of Fena Pirate Princess, the first 2 episodes. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment. Let me know what you thought of the first 2 episodes already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Support us on Patreon if you can. And y'all take care.